Hi, Derek. Sure hope this works because I can't see what the camera is shooting. But last minute entry into your contest. Congratulations on the 2,500 subscribers. I think it's up to 27 or 2,800 by now. Because tomorrow is the last day to enter. So, of course, I'm entering tonight. And just an amazing, number to have. 2,500 subscribers. And, you're very deserving of all of them. And I'm sure everybody gets a little something out of every one of your posts. Whether you're ranting and raving about music or ranting and raving about today's current issues, society's past, future issues. It's all good and it's all interesting to hear coming from you. So I enjoy just about anything you have to say about topics, especially music, which is what we're all kind of here for. And so anyway, this is the third time I've made this post, and I've made it 3 different ways. Hopefully this way it's going to stick, I think. I'm going to be happy with this one. A little stack of things. Nothing really unusual. Maybe a band you haven't heard of, but I doubt it. But still somewhat rare to see some vinyl of theirs. But first things first, start off with one Beatles-related item, and that is this guy, and this is exactly how I got it. I don't know if it's how easy it is for you to see this, but this is a record that was put out by the Veterans Administration. It's called Here's to Veterans, and it's one of a number of shows. And this particular one is for, one side of it is program number 1406, The Beatles, and it's got Paul McCartney introducing songs specifically from the White Album and specifically Hey Jude. But the first song on it is, I can't remember the first song. The first song is like, I'll Cry Instead, I think. And then they do Eleanor Rigby, which is odd because he starts to talk about songs from the new album called The Beatles, but then it's, they start playing Eleanor Rigby, which is very odd. So this is one of my more unique, rare, I think, items from my Beatles collection. And haven't seen it anywhere else. I'm sure somebody else has got it in their collection, and it's kind of fun to have. And it's especially interesting to hear Paul introduce songs and talk about, well, he doesn't really talk that much. They actually edit a lot of what he says. They're trying to keep it concise, kind of like what I should do on this post, so it's not too long. Exactly. One of the reasons why I redid the last one, it got to 20 minutes, and anyway. A local 80s band called Dinette Set. I'm going to take this out so you can see it. It's a great punk, or kind of new wave band, actually. And just terrific. Female vocals, Dinette Set. It has on here Scott McCoy. If you don't know who Scott McCoy is, he's a number of bands, most recently with REM. He's sort of their second guitarist. And he also started the band Young Fresh Fellows, who are from here in Seattle. And he's now living down in Portland. So this is kind of a local wave album to get from back in the 80s, early 80s. And kind of hard to come by. But you can see it every once in a while. But around here, it actually goes for some pretty good sizable dollars. I know you like comps, compilations. This is this really isn't a label compilation. It's called Seattle Syndrome, and there were 2 volumes put out. I thought I had volume 2, but I couldn't find volume 2, but this is volume 1. This is even harder to find than volume 2. And it was put out by Engram Records. I'll go ahead and show side 2 here. But I just thought the cover was really interesting, kind of strange. 15 different bands from Seattle. Kind of hard for me to read it here. I got to do this way. X15 doing Vaporized, the Puds, Student Nurse, the Beakers, Jim Bassnight, the Fastbacks, the Refusers, the Farts, the 88s. You got to turn it upside down to read the other side. Blackouts, the Max, Filipino Scrooge, Filippo Scrooge, Savant, Body Falling Downstairs. These are the band names. And then Kiss. 21.245. I think that might have been the records, the radio station that may have put this out or something. KISS 21.252. I'm not sure. No, that's the name of a band, but it's not the other KISS. It's actually K7SS. I don't know. It is. It's K7SS. I'm sorry. The 7 looked like an I. I've never even heard of the band before. I haven't played this in a long time. So, anyway, a bunch of obscure bands from Seattle. If you like Wave, this is probably the only way you're going to get a lot of that music. Show the label here real quick. An Engram label. Don't know how well you can see that. I don't know what the lens is pointing to. But pretty interesting stuff, as I recall. I really loved having these comps. Hard to come by now. Hard to come by back then at times. But these were more band comps than they were radio station or label comps. They aren't all, unless they were all part of Engram label, I'm not sure. But another compilation. Actually, this is a sampler from a live album, wide label promo from Urge, A Music War. Selections from, and it's got Uncontrollable Urge by Devo, We Got the Beat Go-Go's, and Respectable Street by XTC. And Driven to Tears by the Police, The Puppet, Echo and the Bunnymen, and Ain't This the Life, Oingo Boingo. So that's kind of a nice wide label promo comp. Put back in here, just a plain white cover for that. Sticking around with XTC, this is a promo on the Geffen label from, I believe it's the Little Express, Big Express. What's it from? Big Express. Why do I read it? Yeah, selections from the Big Express. Thank you. But artwork that's unique to this promo. And it's got, side 1 is All You Pretty Girls, and then side 2, Wake Up and Shake Your Donkey Up. So nice shots of the band. And I believe the standard Geffen label, but it does say promo A and promo B. So trying to make this a fast entry. It's like I said, this is the third one I've done tonight. So now I'll just set this down here. Pick it up later. One more time with XTC. And this is kind of neat. This is a live Warner Brothers music show. I'm going to leave it in here. This is one of the reasons I think why it's in here. It's a white label promo, XTC. It says live, but actually what it is, it's not a live performance. It's Andy Partridge being interviewed about the Skylarking album. So it's called The Skylarking Interview with Andy Partridge. And if you start with part 1, it basically has all the music. And in between the tracks, he's talking or talking about the songs, talking about the individual tracks. I don't think he's really introducing them at all, but containing music from the Geffen album Skylarking. It's a lot of him talking about the recording process and what went on. So that's really kind of unique. Haven't seen too many of these floating around, but quite nice. Geffen, and then it says Warner Brothers Music Show. This, I don't know. Maybe this is a different sleeve. Somebody put it in for some reason, but yeah, it's rather nice. So I'm a big fan of the Skylarking album. This was kind of a cool thing to get. And finally, last couple of albums here. Well, one album and one 12-inch single. Don't know if you probably are aware of the band called Yeah Yeah No. And this is their Temple of, no, that's the EP. I can never remember the title of this album. Cutting the Heavenly Lawn of Greatness, Last Rites for the God of Love. That's a long album title. So, go ahead and pull this guy out. I'm sure you've heard of them. Yeah, yeah, no. They're somewhat obscure, but sort of, post-punk, pop, wave, a little bit of everything, but I think of them more as kind of on the punk side of things. The inner sleeve, great, nice liners, all the lyrics, and then this is just a really cool collage. And then finally, here it is on, what label is this on? They're on a very obscure label. In Tape. Don't know if you have anything on In Tape or not, but... And last but not least, another item from Yeah Yeah Now, which is the Temple of Convenience EP. 12-inch single. And anything interesting on here? No, what's interesting about this, very strange, is that one of the songs is a very distant sounding song, or version of the Beatles doing Rain, or somebody doing Rain, live. And they even mention it here. It says, the tape of Rain was discovered in the cellars of Barkby Road Studios. It was marked simply live in Hamburg. If anyone has any information concerning the psychedelic Filbert, in quotes, the psychedelic Filbert, or this recording, please contact us at 9 something Street, Leicester, United Kingdom. So that might have been the 7th track on here, the missing piece, I guess. It was side 2. That's like the last song on side 2, the missing piece. But anyway, this is kind of unique. Has a custom label to it. I'm not really sure what label it's on. It's on In Tape as well. But this one has a really interesting label on it. So if you have any, or if anybody else out there has any additional Yeah Yeah No vinyl, I'd love to see it. 45s, 12-inch. This is the only thing that I've got of them. This album and this 12-inch, 12-inch single. So that's it. Obscure things, semi-obscure things. It's easy to pull things out of kind of the local bin, things that were made here in Seattle or in the Northwest. Sorry, I apologize for not doing this later, because I'm almost down to the end. This is how things get extended and too long. So anyway, congratulations, 25, well, like I said, I think it's up to 27 or 28 now, 2,800 subscribers. I really do enjoy listening and watching. Sometimes it's listening, sometimes I've got people's posts just sort of going in the background while I'm looking at something else, or I'm eating breakfast, or whatever it is I'm doing. And a lot of times I'm watching you and you're holding up music, and I have you on one window, and on the other window I've got eBay open, I've got Amazon. I'm looking for the stuff you're showing to see how available it is. If, listen to more sound samples, try to bookmark information about the band that I've never heard of, and so I really appreciate that. I've learned a lot about obscure music, and more importantly, you've really motivated me to take a little step out of my comfort zone, and not necessarily my comfort zone, but just try something out that I normally would turn my nose up at. Sort of learn to recognize what could be some really interesting music, and giving it a try, hopefully there at the shop, so I don't have to spend money that I'm disappointed with later. But for the most part, it's all been positive. That I've jumped into some music that I really like, and it's watching posts like yours as well as other people's that you're hearing descriptions of things, and it's like, wow, I've got to hear this, I've got to find this, and then the disappointment when you find a copy of it and it's $200. So that's a bit disappointing. But overall, really enjoyable channel. Whether you're, like I said, ranting and raving about music or about social issues, it doesn't matter. It's interesting to hear your viewpoint on things. And lights are fading. That means it's time for me to go. Good time to cut out of here because I don't want this to be too long. Congratulations again. I'll be watching your posts. Take care. Bye-bye.